on guys, this is your boy Poison Akami here, me, myself and I back at it again, and I'm coming at you with another tutorial today. So this tutorial is actually going to be more based on leader switching, but it's going to be about leader switching out of combos. So when you guys usually leader switch and you're leader switching, when you're attacking, you like to do it to extend your combos, or, you know, if your opponent subs or whatever, you like to do it to try and counterattack, which is good, but we're actually going to dive a little bit more deep into that process. So when you're landing a combo, and if your opponent subs, you will do something like this, which is good. You know, this is a good way to continue an attack, and also a good way to build your storm gauge, because leader switching builds your storm gauge. Like this, you know, is very, very good for that type of stuff. But there are better ways to actually go about this, and this is what I call either delayed leader switching or delayed, or more so like selective leader switching in this case scenario. So what it's referred to, like, I guess what the community calls it when you leader switch out of a combo is a blue dash. Oh, hold on a sec, subs are still on. So they call it a blue dash, and I think the reason why is because, you know, there's this like blue color around your character or whatever as they dash in. So we call it, we're going to call it a blue dash just to keep it simple. So with delayed blue dashing, or, you know, selective blue dashing, it's always good to delay it or be selective with it. The reason why is because if you're always mashing at your opponent, so, you know, let's turn the CPU back on and turn on the guard. I don't want to do that. Okay. So, say you're doing this, and he instantly subs, he's going to do something like a jutsu or a tilt to counteract you. This is a problem, because then you're gonna just endlessly be leader switching into his jutsu and or tilt, and he will always think of ways to try and counteract you. This is where you actually need to use your head a little bit and actually think about using other means or other ways of using the leader switch. And then this is why I said you should delay it or be selective of when you should and shouldn't be leader switching. Now the reason why I say this is because it will then get around their way of trying to counteract your way of leader switching in close quarters. So in this scenario, imagine that, you know, I begin to start a combo on Naruto here, and I'm starting the combo or whatever, and then at some point in the combo here, he subs. So I delay the leader switch where he's not expecting it. Now, what some people do is that they block. So, you know, what people do is that they will sub and then block for a long time. But if you keep mashing circle and keep the combo going and make the game think you're going to continue the combo, force the blue dash, you know, force the blue dash at a later time. Eventually, your opponent's just going to drop the block thinking, oh, well, he's just mashing in the air right now. I'm safe to release my block, walk to the left, charge my chakra, or, I don't know, or, you know, maybe dash towards them. And then that's the point right there where you want to leader switch, because that's when they're unsafe, that's when they're not expecting it, you catch them by surprise. It's a good mental game thing as well. A lot of playing Storm is about a good mental game. And having a good mental game is actually like being able to get in their head and then make, you know, put them in a situation where they think they're safe, but they're really not. And doing that to your opponent is a good key to getting under their defense and depleting their health at a very good rate. See, by delaying my hit there, he thought he was going to hit me, but instead, I just waited a little bit, and then as soon as I saw the first hit, I switched to Kiba to punish it. So the characters that I've chosen for this, I find is really good. So like the first Hokage, Ino, Kiba, they're characters that have very long animations in their hits or whatever. I mean, Ino doesn't have long animations, but with someone like Hashirama, if you were to do it on block, and then this is another scenario as well, I was doing it on block. So if I turn off the subs here, and I have Naruto to strictly block for me, you can do it on block as well. You see how I waited a long time? Sometimes during that moment right there, so if someone is knowledgeable on first Hokage, they know that you cannot combo anywhere past this big lock here. But if you wait, like so, just as Hashirama is about to leave, I can still switch into Ino or Kiba and catch them by surprise. This is, you know, how you do it on the guard pressure as well, is by catching them by surprise. It's a very useful tool to do. Like this. Usually at that point, they'll release their guard and they'll try to chakra dash you, or they try to, you know, do maybe an unsafe tilt if it's like an unsafe character's tilt, and they'll try and do something to punish you, but you can leader switch as a way to punish that. Selective and delayed leader switching is very helpful. I wouldn't focus on it all the time. Like, you know, you can still lead in with your switch tech. Like, you know, you can still, you know, combo like this. And just, you know, do stuff like that out of the combo, you know? You can still hollow step out of the combo, do things like that, you know? Like, you don't always have to do the situation, but if you find your opponent plays in such a way where they sub and then they try hitting buttons instantly, or they sub, they block, but you want to outpatient them a little bit, then you can do this to them, you know? Just a very delayed leader switch like this would be the key. Now, I do have some examples of this in fights, so I will now show the short compilation of examples in fights for you to have a better idea on what this looks like in an official match, and I'll provide some little commentary over the clips so I can explain why they worked the way they did and how you can do it too. Anyways, I hope this guide is a little bit helpful towards you and your aggression and your back and forth in the close combat play. As always, this has been your boy Poison Okami, and good night. So here are the examples of when they're trying to attack me back after they're done subbing, but because I delay my leader switching, their attack will whiff and I will punish them with the leader switch. Here is an example of when they think they are safe, so they relax and they let their guard down. However, this isn't quite the case. You can see this by the reaction of my opponent here. This is the example of doing it on blocking opponents, showing how they will actually release their block after a certain amount of time, thinking that you're actually not going to attack them or leader switch. And here are just a couple of examples of the characters not to do this against because they have very large hitboxes. Characters like Edo Hashirama, Tail Beast from Naruto, and Ten Tails Obito have very large hitboxes and will punish you.